Trump was very strong on law and order. He seemed to, really get into his stride when he was talking about the riots in certain Democrat-run cities, and I felt that he gained some momentum there.
One of the interesting things is the way Chris Wallace, the debate moderator, set the question up, is he didn't really name the people who were starting the riots and who was doing it. And I do think that President Trump missed an opportunity to really hone in on the Democrats funding the ANTIFA and BLM protesters in these various cities. On the plus side, he did note that the law and order and the police unions and everyone else are on Team Trump. And so that was good for the president. And that is a place of weakness for Biden. Biden's trying to keep two parts of his party happily coexisting, and that's almost impossible on this topic because the far left is totally for the riots and protesting, and the moderate left doesn't like it at all.
Biden leads in a lot of those battleground states, Ohio, Florida, Michigan and so on. Do you think tonight's debate will have changed any voters' intentions in some of those really key battleground states?
First off, it's difficult. Like when you mentioned Florida, I think that at the very most you can say it's a tie. I don't think Biden's ahead there, but in some of the states that you mentioned, it is closer, and Biden has an edge. Did this debate pull anyone one way or another? I think time will tell. I think that both men were so aggressive that it's going to make people not sure what to do. So I don't know if they'll wait till the next debate or if they'll look at the actual merits. But, I mean, there was a lot of name calling. Biden called Trump names. He called him a clown. He called him racist. And then there was Trump. President Trump was interrupting Biden constantly, which I thought was a mistake, and sometimes because Biden was going to be forced to answer some questions he didn't want to answer had he been allowed to speak.
Biden was very strong, I thought, on his coronavirus response, and I thought that the president was a little bit weaker in that particular area. He came up with a lot of rhetoric, whereas Biden was very clear in his statistics and how it affected the United States and the initial response. Your thoughts?
Well, I thought Biden won at one point when he was talking directly to the trauma that American people are feeling being separated from those who are sick and who can't be there with family members in the hospital because of COVID. And I thought that very personal and looking into the camera and treaty, probably landed very well for people. On the other hand, when it comes down to the facts of how to deal with it, Biden was really slow on the upstart as far as what he thought should be done. He did call Trump, essentially racist for wanting to shut down travel back and forth between China. I thought his answers tonight were more empathetic to the human toll that the whole thing was taking.
And, of course, Trump really went after Biden's son, and Biden got quite fired up about that. But the president was very insistent when he went after Biden's son.
There wasn't anything that the president said that wasn't true. It was interesting. It put Biden back on his back foot. He basically lied and said that's not true. He didn't. Well, it is true. Hunter Biden even admitted that it's true. So this was not some sort of made-up thing. And I think that Trump could have been more effective about connecting the corruption of his son to Vice President Biden himself, that he was using his position of power to enrich his family and friends. And rather than going after his son so directly, I think that it would have landed better if he'd gone right at President or Vice President Biden about abusing his power when he had it.
Mm. And, of course, the debate concluded with Trump making it very clear that he believed ballot fraud was very much on the agenda, and he's very concerned about the prospect of that ballot fraud. How do you think that played out with the American public?
We're having stories come out every day right now in different states with either lost ballots or, like just happened today in Brooklyn, that people didn't receive the correct ballots. It's been really kind of a mess. So whereas maybe 2 weeks ago or even 3 weeks ago, it would have sounded like maybe a crazy conspiracy theory and could be portrayed that way.
I think it was chaotic. It was confusing. I felt for Chris Wallace, the moderator. I thought he did as good a job as he could in the circumstances. They were quite bombastic, both of them. How do you think the second debate will shape up?
This is just a crazy election year, and it's very difficult and challenging to predict how the American people are going to react to the messages they're receiving, because it seems like the American people are so divided.